This is NZD. This is NZD-JPY. Now, I was saying that this move may actually go down. This may get down to this point. When it gets down to this point, then you may expect another move down. Now, but the market is really funny at this point. So if the market is funny, then you need to be very careful when you are getting in. Very, very careful. Now, I would like us to check the monthly chart because even the weekly chart is not too clear. So if we move now to the monthly chart, let's move to the monthly chart. The network today, it seems as if it's a general issue because somebody is writing in a group that she cannot connect because of her network.
I was expecting her to come in since.
But it seems as if the network is really, really difficult. I'm even managing like this because I have both Nextel and MTN. That's why I can even manage this way. Okay, on the weekly chart, look at what is happening on the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, look, this is actually more of a sell on the weekly chart. Now, if you get to this week, this is the monthly chart, sorry. If you get to this monthly chart, what are you expecting? This is actually, there was a trigger last month, and this Monday, this candle is down here. So, and you discover pullback is at this point. Look at this thing. Pullback started at this point. So this is actually where pullback started, and this is a structure. So since we have drawn these structures, then this one will guide us. But after this funny move here, we are expecting a back, but if you're not careful, bear will go down because you may have a clear pullback, goes down to this point before you see the move up. So bear may occur down on the monthly chart. So if you move to the weekly chart, then we're expecting that move down. But it doesn't mean it'll just go down abruptly because on the weekly chart, it can actually go down, then it goes up before you see it finally ending very far down. So that is it for the weekly chart, like this. So this may actually go down to this point. When it gets down to this point, it goes back up before you see the next move down. Now, the safest way is, since you already know the direction, I will know this thing may break. It may break, and when it breaks, this is a structure. So if you break this structure, fine, wait for the retest. After the retest, the next move down. This is the safest way to trade. The safest, but if you decide to get in now, they need to be very, very careful. Now, if you move to, let's get to the one, let's get back to the 1 day chart and the 4 hours and see. Right. Okay, this is the one. This is the 1 day chart. So on the daily chart, the market is still funny. So please, let's forget about this trade for today. The market will give a direction. Remember, today is Monday. The market will give a direction today. Then tomorrow we'll see a clear move to sell, to trade. So if this thing, because it's more of a sell, but the sell can take even 1 month. So since this thing is within this range, this is actually a range. If you move to the 4 hours time frame, you have a range at this point. Now, since it is within this range, it may come down, may go down to this point, and you see it up again. I said you trade on a structure. So since this is not on any clear and distinct structure, then wait for it to get to that structure. If it goes down today, fine, we buy up. If it finally ends up very far up here, then tomorrow we'll see a trigger maybe on the 4 hours chart. We get in and it goes down to this point. So that is actually how you need to trade this pair. Let's just check the 4 hours chart, though I'm not seeing any clear opportunity here. But let's check the 4 hours chart and we see. 4 hours chart. Okay, this is a 4 hours chart. Now on the 4-hour chart, look at what is happening. So there is a structure here on this 4-hour chart. I will not draw them. There's a structure on this 4-hour chart. There's a structure on this 4-hour chart. So if you want to scalp this thing, you see reducing momentum down to this point, and this is 6. So this thing may actually see a very long candle up, maybe at 8. And remember, at 8 you always have traps. All those market traps, they occur at 8. So at 8 you may see a very long buy candle up to this point. If that happens, then fine. If you decide to get in, fine. But you should calculate the risks, calculate the reward before you get in. Don't just get in anyhow. Because you spot this move here from this point up to maybe this structure. This is the first structure. So from this point up to this structure, how many pips are we expecting? From this structure up to this structure, how many pips are we expecting? Calculate those things to convert to the number of pips or to the number of dollars you're supposed to risk on a single trade. Then you get in. If you look at this point, there's a kind of rejection candle here, and this is actually a kangaroo tail. After this move, then we're expecting this thing. So this is about I think 46 pips. You can get in. If you get in, it goes up 46 pips and you leave the market, because the market is funny. So if you don't get out very fast, you may still be caught in that trap. It's very, very important. So this 46 pips can actually go within 1 hour or within 2 hours, especially when the market upwards. You may see a very, very long move up. You see that move, and you get in and it goes up to this point. You get out of the market. So if you must trade this pair, as the first thing I said is you can forget about this pair. That's the first condition. The second condition is if you decide to trade this pair, then this is what you do. You scalp and you run away. Don't stay in the market for long, because if you stay in the market for long, you always be caught in those kind of funny trap. Because this thing may behave like this, it goes up to this point, then after 3 hours, you see very far down here, and you lost that trade. So it is safe for you to get in and get out very, very fast. So I think that is it for this pair, NZD JPY. Then the next pair, and I think that will be the last pair that will do.
USD JPY.
Okay, USD. I think we analyze that pair, but let's just go back there and see. We analyze that pair on, was it on Friday? I think Friday or Saturday. Okay, I'll just explain what we did. So we did a multiple time frame analysis and we had conditions. The first thing was this thing is actually a range. So this is a ranging market. I've had the conditions, and if you look at this thing, this is actually the first condition. So since this thing is down here, then you look at this point, from this point down to this point, it's actually forming higher highs and higher low. But the higher highs, lower highs and lower low, but the lower highs and lower low is really funny. So since it is funny, then we gave conditions for us to trade this pair. But after that, we saw this kind of funny candle. And this funny candle is as a result of spread. The spread was too high during the opening of the session or during the opening of the market. That's why we had this kind of candle. So the first condition was if this thing goes up, because it can actually go up to this point, then you see it down again. So if this thing goes up to this point, I get a trigger here. Then you say, and we say that target should be very far down here because it may break. And we said this is more of a sell. So if it goes up, then we spot a trigger, then we say, and we will say this is actually the target, very far down. That was the first condition. The second condition is if this thing breaks, because there's possibility of this thing breaking to this point, because this is a big trend line, very, very weak, because it is a ranging market. So this trend line will just guide us. Now, if it breaks to this point, we're expecting a retest. When it retests, you get a trigger, maybe at this point you buy, and we buy, this is a target. So actually, this thing may move up, gets to this point, then you see it down. That is the first condition. Everything. So you may get to this point, then you see it down. That is the first condition. We may get back to this point up. So you may start here, get up to this point. After that, you see a move down. That is the second condition. So if you spot any of these moves, if you get to this point, I get you see break, the closes above this point, they wait for the trigger and it goes up. Now, this trigger can be a single candle retest. So the retest can be a single candle retest. So when you see the break, you may see a break up here, and after that you see a long sell candle. The candle comes down to this point. You see rejection. After that, you get in and it goes up. So if you see the retest, if you see the long sell candle goes down to this point, you can move now. Switch to a 1 hour chart. On a 1 hour chart, you will see a perfect entry trigger. I mean, a very, very good entry trigger. They get in and it goes up. The same thing with this one. If it's spot that move, fine, you know, it has to go down to this point. So this way, the analysis actually done with JIT, and this is what we are expecting. So it's a two-way system, and if anyone is okay, if any VC break or confirmation in any of the cases, then just get in and we trade. So we'll get the last pair because we already analyzed this one on Saturday. So
USD card.
USD card. USD card. Okay, this is USD card. Straight to 1 day chart. This is a 1 day chart, and on this 1 day chart, what do we see? I think we spotted a structure here, but let me just remove everything and we start from scratch. Now, on this 1 day chart, the first thing I see here is actually a break and a retest. I see a break and I'm expecting a retest. If you look at this thing, this is a perfect trend line on the 1 day chart. So this trend line is there. If we want, we can draw another trend line here, but let me just see where they'll go. If it is not okay, then we delete. But we have gotten the main line that we created. So they just concentrate on this. The network is even bad, and this is really freezing. So this is a trend line that we have spotted on the 1 day chart. And this trend line, there was a break. So what are we expecting? We're expecting a retest up to this point, and we get in and it goes down. Now, if we get to the 1 week chart, we'll see whether it's actually a downward move to. Okay, this is a weekly chart. Now look at this weekly chart. It is a perfect move down. I mean, really, really perfect. Look at this move. Last week we had this is actually a shooting star, a reversal candle, and last week we had this one. So this week, what are we expecting? This thing may actually go down. But remember, I need to be careful because this thing may still be a pullback. So you need to be careful. But this thing has to drop down to a certain level before it goes up. So we are expecting more of a sell on this USD card. Now, if we move back to that 1 day chart, if we move back to the 1 day chart, what do we see on that 1 day chart? Okay, on that 1 day chart, meaning we are expecting a perfect move up, a break, that a break. Wait for the retest, it goes back up to that point, then we get a trigger and we see the move down. So this is actually what we're expecting. If you look at this 1 day chart, this is a first structure. This is a second structure. So since this is a structure, I don't know whether I should draw it. I don't really want to draw this thing because network to draw is not easy. When there's poor network, this trading view, it really, really misbehaves.
But if the network cannot, okay.
Let's just finish this analysis and end it. So this is the first structure, and if you look, this is the second structure. So everything goes, and you have a rate test here. The first take profit should be here. Now this is a daily chart. This thing may take 3 days or 4 days even. So you can take the whole of this week to get to this point. Now it depends solely on you as a trader. If you're a swing trader, you get a clear trigger here, you can place a trade and it goes down to this point. That is the first thing. Now, if you switch maybe to 4-hour chart, you go there and you get a trigger. Since you have already spotted all the points, if you get a clear trigger at that point, then fine, you get in and you know it is okay. Perfect move down. So if we switch to the 4-hour chart, it's still loading. Okay, the 4-hour chart is still loading. So if you switch now to the 4-hour chart, look at this thing. This is actually a move. So we are expecting this thing up to this point before it goes down. Please, this may be a trap. Be very, very careful. Now, you discover that I have all these things. Wait for this move at this point. This is actually what happens. If you see this kind of move, when the market opens, maybe at 8 or 9, you'll be caught in that trap. Because if you switch maybe to the 1-hour chart, this will actually form a chopping market. So you are expecting a break. And at times that you see a break at 8, you see a very long candle here, then it closes 9 or 10, you see a very long candle, it goes back up before it's going down. So you need to be very, very careful. This is a chopping market. Wait for this move at this point. If it gets to that point, fine, you sell down. If it breaks, I decide to sell, I've given you all the conditions. If you decide to sell after the break, then fine. But you should be very careful. Now, if you say this is actually what I'm expecting, because this thing may go down and it deceives people, and at the end of the day, see them losing money. So this is actually the move. So this thing may go back down. If it goes back down, this thing will form a double bottom. So it goes back down, form the double bottom. Then after that, you see it goes back up. Maybe reaches this point or goes up to this point. After that, you see the main move down. So to be on the safe side, it's good you wait for it. The same as this thing may go down, will not form this double bottom. So this is not even an opportunity to buy. So if it goes down, it may not form the double bottom, but you see it, maybe it breaks or it does not reach here. I see it up here again. So to be on the safe side, let's wait for the clearing test. If you spot a clearing test, or if you are convinced maybe at any point that this thing has to sell, then fine. If you say even here, you will make profit. But the problem is we are risk to reward ratio be that good, because if you say at this point, you should be ready to see your trade go maybe this is it, maybe 71 pips against you before it goes back to profit. So 71, then it goes up to about 200 and I think 260 something pips. So if you are ready to do that, then fine. But if you are not ready, then wait for it to go up to this point, because if it goes up to this point, even you make that 71 pips that the trade is supposed to go against, you actually make profit in those trades. So that is it, and that is the analysis of today. Nether is really, really poor. So end the class of today, and we'll have the analysis, next analysis on Wednesday. Please, we need to. Last week we had just one analysis, so I'd like us to have another analysis on Wednesday. So we'll see you guys on Wednesday, and I wish you the best as you start trading today.
Thank you, sir.